Hello everyone! Today's video is going to be a full face tutorial for prom. I was going to film this yesterday, but I had a little mishap taking my dog to the dog park and she pulled me out of the car and this happened. So I was in too much pain to even try to do my makeup yesterday. But it is my right hand and I am left-handed, so we're good. So I'm here today. I'm going to fight through the pain. It doesn't hurt as bad as it did. So I think I'll survive, but I'm gonna do a not everyday, what am I even saying? I'm gonna do a prom tutorial, like a classic prom tutorial, nothing too crazy, more neutral colors so that it'll go with any color dress. Obviously you can switch up the lip. I'm probably just gonna do a nude shade just so that it can go for everyone and every dress. But you can switch up the lip color depending on what color you're wearing and whatnot. And yeah, let's just jump right into the tutorial. First, I'm starting out with my Anastasia Beverly Hills DipBrow in the shade Chocolate. And I'm just going to be lining the bottom portion of my brow just to kind of get the shape down. And then I'll start filling that in. And then I'm going to brush the hairs down and fill in the top portion of my brows. Once you pretty much have everything outlined and filled in and whatnot, you need to brush through and make sure that all of the product is evenly distributed. You don't want some random line through your eyebrow. And then I'm going to take my brow definer, also by Anastasia Beverly Hills, and this is in the shade Medium Brown. It is a little bit lighter, so I like to use this on the fronts of my eyebrows. So I'm going to underline the bottom of my brow again, and then the top, and then I'll make upward strokes to kind of mimic hairs. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And then again, I'm going to brush through it all and just make sure that everything is nice and even and the most natural looking that it could possibly look. And then you can see the crazy difference between the two. So I'm going to go do the other one off camera, and then I'm going to take my Tarte Shape Tape Concealer. This is my new favorite concealer ever. And I'm just going to be placing this underneath the brow so that I can clean all of my messes up. And I'm just going to take a little small angled brush and just spread that product out right underneath my brow and just clean up any mistakes I made and just make everything look a lot more put together and clean. And then I will also go above my brow just to kind of clean up and shape out the brows up there and make sure that both of my brows are even, or I guess as even as they could possibly be. Of course, your eyebrows are sisters, not twins, as you've probably heard a million times, but it's literally so true. I can never get my eyebrows to be perfectly even, but doing this technique really does help kind of make them look a little bit more similar, I guess. So yeah, and then I'm just going to rub that concealer in with my finger and just make sure that it's all blended out and evenly spread on my lid so that we don't have any patchiness later. And yeah, then we can start on the face. So I'm going to be taking my NYX Angel Veil Primer, and I'm just going to be priming my face with this. I really do like this primer. I feel like it's nice and hydrating and it just really smooths out my whole face and just makes the foundation lay on top of it really nicely. So I really enjoy this. It's oil free, I'm pretty sure, so I feel like anyone could use it. And then I'm going to take my L'Oreal Infallible Pro Glow foundation. This is also my favorite foundation ever. And I'm just going to be dotting this all over my face. And then I will be blending this out with a Real Techniques complexion sponge, I think it's called. And yeah, that's my favorite way to blend in foundation. I actually do like using this foundation with a brush, but I wanted to get a really even coverage today because this is a prom tutorial, so I stuck with the good old sponge just to make sure that everything is nice and even, no streakiness or anything like that. And then you want to make sure that you blend it down your neck because on prom day, girl, you do not want to have a foundation line on your neck. So make sure you do that, and also in between your eyebrows. You don't want to forget that. And then for the eyes, I'm going to take my Tarte Tartelette in Bloom palette, and there's what it looks like. And I'm just going to take that shade in the top left corner, and I'm just going to set all that concealer, and then I'm going to take the shade Smarty Pants and use this as my transition shade. So I'm just going to be buffing that into my upper crease and crease area and just make sure it's nice and blended out so that everything will go nicely on top of that. Next, I'm going to take the shade Rebel. It's just a warm brown, medium brown shade, and I'm just going to be placing this on the outer corner in circular motions and then windshield wiping it into the crease. And like always, just make sure that it's nice and blended into the color that we used before. You want everything to be nice and gradient, so just make sure you keep on blending. And then I'm going to take the shade Leader, which is just a darker reddish brown color, and I'm going to be packing this on the outer corner and again blending it into my crease as well. And then I'm going to take this dark brown shade here. You can't really tell in the picture, but it's like a dark warm brown shade. And I'm just going to basically put that in all the same places that we did before, but this will just help to define and darken everything up. So I'm going to be doing that with this little tiny fluffy brush. I really love it. So I'm just going to be doing that, and yeah. Now I'm going to take that Shape Tape concealer again and just put some on the back of my hand. And with that same brush I used to clean up my eyebrows, I'm going to do a little half cut crease on the lid. So you just kind of want to carve out your crease and drag it down onto the lid. And you go about like 2/3 of the way, I guess. And then I'm going to take the shade Funny Girl, and I am going to pack this right on top of that concealer. It's just a really light gold shade. It's actually really pretty. You can't tell as good as it looks in person, but that's okay. And then I'm going to take the shade Firecracker, and I'm going to put this in between Funny Girl and the dark brown shade on the outer corner and just blend everything together and make it look nice and gradient. And then I'm going to go back into Activist and just make sure that everything is blended into each other. You don't really want any super harsh lines. It will look harsh, but it's not as harsh as you think, because you want to make sure that they kind of blend into each other. And then I'm going to go back in with my Shape Tape concealer and just conceal my face. So underneath my eyes, I also put this on my forehead, down the bridge of my nose, on the very little itty bitty part of my Cupid's bow, and then a little bit on my chin. With this concealer, you really don't need a lot of product. It's kind of not thick, it's just very opaque, I guess you could say. So you really don't need a lot. I kind of used a lot, but that's okay. And yeah, so I'm just going to be blending this all in with my sponge, and then we will be setting that with powder in a second. So to set the concealer, I'm going to take my Coty Airspun Loose Face Powder. This is in Translucent Extra Coverage, I think. And I'm just going to be packing that on all the areas that we concealed, just to make sure that it all stays in place for the whole prom night. And then I'm going to go back into that Leader shade, and I'm going to be placing this underneath the lash line, and just make sure that you get it from outer corner almost to the inner corner, but not like the really inner corner where the tear duct is. And then I'm going to take Rebel again and just blend that first shade out and just make sure that it's nice and smoky under there. And then I'm going to take my NYC Liquid Liner, which, as I said in my last video, it's being discontinued. So yeah, but I'm still using it because it's my favorite. And I'm just going to line my top lash line. No wing or anything like that, just a simple thing to hide the lash band. And then I popped on some mascara and my lashes. And my lashes were by Mandy Cosmetics in the style Goddess. And then I'm just taking my Rimmel Stay Matte powder and just placing that on where I'm going to contour, just so everything blends out really nicely. So I'm taking my Kat Von D Shade and Light palette, and I'm just taking that middle shade on this brush just to warm everything up on the face. And I'm just placing that on my cheeks, and I will also put this up around the perimeter of my forehead and a little bit under my jawline and kind of down my neck, just to really bronze up the face and make you look nice and summery for prom, because I feel like you just always want to look really like bronzy for prom. And then to contour, I'm taking the shade on the left side of the palette and just contouring with that. And then I'm going to clean it all up again with my Coty Airspun powder and just take that sponge and just really make a sharp line underneath that so that it looks really sharp and not muddy. You don't want it to look muddy, obviously. And then I'm going to take that same shade on the left side of the palette and just slightly contour my nose, because it's prom, man. Like, if you're going to go all out, you might as well go all out for prom or some kind of event. And then I'm just going to place the powder on the sides of my nose and on the top of my nose just to clean up the nose contour a little bit. And then just brush it all away with a duo fiber brush. And then I'm going to take my Milani Luminoso Baked Blush, my fave, and just pop that on the cheeks. And now I'm going to take my Makeup Forever Starlit Powder. This is in number 13. This was my first time using this. Kudos to Jaclyn Hill. Wow, it is so vibrant, so bright, and so beautiful. So beautiful. Yeah, so I just highlighted my cheekbones, my cupid's bow, my nose, and I also like to highlight above my eyebrows a little bit, and then a teeny tiny bit on my chin. And then you can't forget your inner corners and your brow bone, so I'm going to put that there as well. I mean, you can't really complete an eye look without an inner corner highlight. Maybe without brow bone, but definitely not inner corners, so gotta do that. And it's literally so beautiful on the brow bone and the inner corner. Oh my gosh, I can't get over it. It's so pretty. So now that we've pretty much finished all the powders, I'm going to take my Mario Badescu Rose Water Facial Spray, and I'm just going to spritz my face and kind of just make everything nice and wet, and then I will go back over the highlight a little bit to make it pop a little bit more. Not that it really needs to pop anymore, but I'm going to do it anyways because, yeah. And then I'm going to set the entire face with my Urban Decay All Nighter Makeup Setting Spray, because you want your makeup to last all night long, especially on prom night. And then I'm going to take my Tartist Quick Dry Matte Lip Paint, and this is in the shade Salty. It's just a nude shade. I just really wanted everything to be really neutral because everyone has different colored dresses, so figured this would be the best option. And that is the end of this tutorial. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up for me and make sure you hit that subscribe button. And yeah, check out all my social media, Instagram, Snapchat, and Twitter. I leave that all linked down below, and I will see you guys in my next video.